evening and welcome. You're watching Left, Right and Centre, a very special episode. We're looking at the poll of exit polls and it is quite dramatic. The bottom line over here, as far as Gujarat is concerned, it appears to be BJP all the way. Record numbers, 130 plus is what the poll of polls, that's an average. We don't do exit polls ourselves because they often go notoriously wrong. But this is what the others are saying. We've taken an average. Gujarat as well, neck and neck, but with the BJP having
Himachal
Pradesh, neck and neck, but having a bit of an edge is the BJP.
So that's the big picture at 9 o'clock on the show, Vishnu, that you've seen the BJP storm back to par for the fourth time in Gujarat, which is no mean feat. You've seen the BJP buck likely the trend of a change of bar or a change of baton in Himachal Pradesh. They may well have the edge, if not perhaps even manage to pip the Congress at the post. The only kind of cloud in the otherwise silver lining is the MCD polls, the Delhi municipality polls, swept by the Aam Aadmi Party. The fact that, as I said, we're reporting it is because it was turned into almost a kind of national contest, mainly by the BJP. But that's where the AAP may have some cause for cheer in what otherwise hasn't been such a great day for them. So we'll get into all of that in great detail. Because Vishnu, we just want to come back to those figures that we were looking at as far as the BJP's massive win is concerned in terms of the actual vote share. And Nalini Singh is also joining us. Geeta Bhatt, of course, continues to remain with us, political analyst, supports the BJP. And Abhishek Singhvi is with us. So before we get into that, let's go across, Vishnu, to Abhishek Singhvi, senior leader of the Congress. Thank you very much indeed, Abhishek, for joining us on the show. Now, what kind of a red light or alarm bell, Abhishek, does this sound for the Congress, where after having come pretty close to the BJP last time in 2017, you've fallen likely by half. You're nowhere in the picture in Delhi municipality, and in Himachal, a state which you should have won comfortably, you're just hanging in there.
Well, let me start by complimenting you on not doing exit polls, because you know how notoriously wrong they could go. And just to give a 5-second caveat, 2017 Punjab, the actual result and the predictions against the Congress. 2017 UP, you did not measure the degree of the BJP win, and so on and so forth. There are so many examples. And going back to 2004, India shining, by the way. But having said that, I don't think any of our comments should be taken as anywhere near accepting these polls. Well, if Gujarat turns out to be what it is, it's very disappointing. But I have personally gone to Surat and to slightly outside part of Ahmedabad, and I at least found the spirit very upbeat. So I do not agree with this rather sort of dispirited, dismal thing. BJP, I would concede, does have an edge in terms of being their home turf. Their power is very visible there, and a lot of the old infrastructure. But even then, these figures seem to be, I think, extraordinarily low.
No, but Dr. Singh, the other way of looking at it, and I know you won't agree with me, but many suggested that it was the Aam Aadmi Party who would be a strong second in Gujarat. Now, that has clearly not taken place. Their numbers are absolutely abysmal in Gujarat. They're down in the poll of polls to about 7 or 8 seats. And would you therefore take what you have in a sense that, it's not the Aam Aadmi Party which is going to be second at all?
See, obviously, what I am saying now is on the supposition and the assumption that we are right, and I've already given you the caveat why we are not right. But that apart, now let's play the game of the opinion polls or the exit polls.
Yes.
On the assumption. If true, then I can only ascribe Gujarat very clearly to the yet again success of an extremely polarizing campaign. And this unfortunately has become true of Gujarat campaigns. There is a certain BJP construct created over the last few decades. And I think it is holding good if these results are true, because there is no other explanation except the fact that you have created a fear in every speech of the Honorable Prime Minister, the Honorable Home Minister, and every leader. In every speech, and you know it better than me as people who cover it, there was 50 to 70% devoted to innuendo, insinuation, minority communities, divisiveness, we will set up this and we will do that, all somewhere nibbling within the bounds of electoral election commission propriety at a window of communalism and polarization.
Abhishek, leaving aside the BJP's campaign rhetoric, surely coming back to the big picture here, that again, as you said, playing the game of the exit polls, if these are true, surely this is a crisis for the Congress, is it not? Because, I mean, again, the Congress was missing in action in Gujarat. I went there, others went there. This is an election which you virtually gave the BJP a walkover. Surely there has to be some red alert, some alarm bell for this election, for what's happened.
If the results are going to be as bad as you say, there is definitely more than a red alert. We would be very, very deeply anxious and feeling very bad. But I mean, there's nothing much one can do about it at this moment. We need, I think, we've had a few defections and departures which have affected it. We've had communities represented by those defections and departures which may have had an effect if these results are true. But I would still say that it is a special BJP laboratory on the communal agenda.
Sure, but Dr.
And
Singhvi,
they seem to have succeeded.
Dr. Singhvi, even if you were to focus, as you clearly are, on the rhetoric and the campaign style of the BJP, the language which has been used and the discourse, is what you are saying not an open admission that the Congress cannot compete with that?
Well, I think it is not an open admission. It is first of all a rather sad comment on the techniques and the tactics which seem to have worked. And secondly, we will have to decide for the future how to deal specifically with this single most biggest component of Gujarat. This is my personal belief that you need to keep aside all other electoral strategies to deal with this one factor, because that is what is making the difference.
No, but again, coming back, Abhishek, to the again moving away from the communal thing, you said defections, etc. That wasn't the only reason, right? We saw how the Congress campaign. No, hold on. Let me finish. The Congress campaigned in 2017, campaigned out of its skin. Rahul Gandhi was there 34 times, holding 34 rallies in Gujarat, etc., etc. Ashok Gehlot was hands-on throughout. You fought this election like it should have been fought. You didn't this time. That had nothing to do with defections or anything else. It was just a crisis of leadership.
Well, I don't think
that.
No, we've had elections which we had promised. We've had a new change. I don't think Rahul Gandhi was really expected to be much in Gujarat because, he is doing the long haul.
Yeah, but isn't that the problem, sir? Dr. Singhvi, isn't that the problem?
No?
In as much as you may have gained or he may have gained a lot of traction with Bharat Jodo, and this isn't to take away from that mission. You have to win elections to come to power. If your tallest leader campaigned or had 2 election rallies in Gujarat compared to 40 plus by the Prime Minister, then surely you were never in the race.
No, I don't think. I think a lot of the people who mattered, who were at the grassroots, who were taking local, mohalla, municipal, city level issues were there. And they were taking up purely development issues. I think somewhere that has failed to match the fear which the BJP evokes in the voter, the divisiveness which the BJP evokes, and the imagery which the BJP evokes, if these results are true. Because really speaking, I've seen the figures of development, I've seen the figures of misgovernance. They are pretty poor there. And that is what we set out to do by local leaders. It was never the case that Rahul Gandhi had promised to go there and did not go there. He had, this is after all a very long yatra. This 2,500 kilometers have been covered and another 1,000 kilometers will be covered. So there's no way he could break and make it a political campaign there. But there were a lot of other people doing local work and people who have a connect with Gujarat. It doesn't work, it seems, because we had larger issues.
Last question before we let you go. There's a worry now that if these exits are true, you lose Gujarat, you're not able to hold on to Himachal, you lose Himachal, you lose Gujarat. Ahead of 2024, you might be in a position where there's not a single Congress chief minister in this country. If you look at the coming up assembly elections, Telangana, you've got Karnataka, you've got Madhya Pradesh, you've got Chhattisgarh, you've got Rajasthan. Chhattisgarh, Rajasthan, 2 states where you're in power, you might lose those next year. You may not be able to flip any of the other states. Is that spectre somewhere looming for the Congress?
No, first of all, I think you are projecting far too far. There's no question of looking at all these as losses. We have different strategies for each, and let me assure you that we are not there to lose any of these states. So I think that is looking and projecting too far. It's a very pessimistic, forecast, and I don't think I need to dwell on that, or I want to dwell on that. Yes, I do agree with you that to win the 2024 elections, some very, very fundamental, strong, strategic changes have to be made in terms of organization. The real problem the Congress has, and it has been quite openly stated, is that we are weak at the booth level and at the district level. That area we need to strengthen.
Sure.
And the second thing is cross-party alliances.
Dr. Singhvi, just one final question before we move on to our other panelists. Are you more hopeful of Himachal Pradesh? Because some of the exit polls, one of them, for example, gave 33 each. But by and large, you are a few seats short of the BJP.
I'm not going only by the India Today Axis poll. We just had a CWC meeting on Sunday, and some of the Himachal feedback was discussed. It is certainly not as pessimistic as the majority of the polls indicate. I'm not talking of the India TV.
And you're sending observers there, right?
I beg your pardon?
I believe you're sending observers there possibly because
yes,
you see that you have a real shot at it.
And
when it's close, then things go terribly wrong in our elections.
We believe that it will be very, very close.
Okay.
We believe that we are winning. The feasible activity has been Punjab and Himachal earlier, when he was not a Prime Minister. And that is a factor which they are relying upon. But otherwise, all local leadership of the BJP in Himachal has been severely discredited.
Okay.
All right. Okay.
And they are banking only on the Prime Minister. I don't think it will be Himachal.
Okay. We'll come back to that as well. But thank you very much indeed, Abhishek Singhvi, for joining us. So sorry, Nalini Singh, coming back to where we were on the vote share, and now we actually had data because we were talking about it, we didn't have data. So what we've tried to do is to average out the vote share across different polls. They themselves are given percentage ranges, so we've tried to average that out. And this is what it's telling you. It's telling you that the BJP's average vote share has fallen to 47%. From 49%, they're down 2 percentage points to 47%. Congress is down to 30%. Congress was at 40, they're down 10 percentage points. AAP is averaging 18%, 1/8. So that's a huge jump, right? From 0 to, and others are about 6. So the big picture is BJP vote share has dropped 2 percentage points, but they've gained about 30 seats. Possibly, as I said, if these numbers are true, because you've got a divided opposition.
Yeah. Vasu, I don't think I agree with you that the BJP vote share was 49%, if you're saying they've dropped 2. They had defections. There were 12 Congress stalwarts.
No, 49% in 2017.
I'm just saying it was not 49%. I'm just correcting you on that because, because 12 Congress stalwarts defected along with their vote share, and 2 independents defected. So in fact, what happened is, it's an important point, because by the end of it, it was 51% vote share. So if we say it, I mean, just sitting over here, if we say that's declined to 47, then that is about 4% a decline. Now the interesting thing is, did the others, if you remember last time in 17, also had a good vote share, 5 to 6%. Now has that declined?
No, that's about the same. About 5.7%, so about 6%.
All right. Okay. So now the Congress we know has declined, and all this has gone to the appears to be has gone to the Aam Aadmi Party. When in the earlier panel, we were discussing that if the Aam Aadmi Party crosses 15% vote share, then to be harsh to the BJP and overgenerous to the Aam Aadmi Party, this is a kind of defeat for the BJP. If the Aam Aadmi Party gets greater than 15% vote share, because they've gone from a pretty single digit, a small low single digit, to let's say 18% or 15%?
18% is the average, but Nalini Singh, how would you say it's a defeat for the BJP? The argument could be that they've taken a large chunk of it from the Congress. The BJP's vote share may have come down, but not significantly.
Just to use your own words, our Honorable Prime Minister, extremely popular Prime Minister, did 40 rallies in Gujarat to say
27
27
rallies. Yeah.
So 27 rallies, and we did have one or two other, we did have a couple of cabinet ministers. So what we are saying is that in fact we have a popular Prime Minister who did 27, one of them 50 kilometers long and the other one 14 kilometers long. So if we are saying this, despite this, if the Aam Aadmi Party is somehow ferreting this onto its side, then that is something to be talked about. But also and on Himachal, I just want to give two data points. At 8 o'clock, 8:10, today, just now, Mr. Jairam Thakur, CM or Chief Minister of Himachal, came on the screen when he was asked, what do you think of the exit polls? He said, wait up to 8th. Now, a person who is triumphant would say, see what I was telling you. The other thing is that yesterday they have had 61 of the candidates of Himachal Pradesh meet in Dharamshala, and many of them said we will win, but with a slim margin.
Okay.
So these are two data points.
All right. Okay.
To think about.
I just wanted to, we're also joined at this stage by Dr. Shama Mohammed of the Congress Party,
and also Ranbir Singh Pathania.
Ranbir Singh Pathania of the BJP joins us as well. But Shama, let me just come to you first. At the end of the day, and we've been discussing how the Congress at many levels was a bit of a missing presence in Gujarat, certainly when it came to somebody like Rahul Gandhi. But would you concede that you just don't have the election machinery to keep up with the BJP? Just in terms of funds, they're the richest political party. The next, 7 largest national parties don't combined have the same wealth as them. The fact that Amit Shah was micromanaging every district, cross-checking the data which the BJP leaders gave him at every stage, local leaders. Do you have that sort of election machinery to take on the BJP in their home turf?
No, I definitely agree. We don't have that sort of election machinery. We did not get electoral bonds when it comes to it. I think 98% went to Bharatiya Janata Party. So, the money is definitely with them. But when it comes to a booth level, like Dr. Singhvi was saying, an organization, the best example of Congress parties in Kerala, and I must say we have not just booth, we have the block, the mandal, the booth, and beneath the booth we have something called the unit. So it's a very well organized, and I think we must take it from there. The other thing I want to talk about is the silent campaign which we have been doing in Gujarat. See, what we want to do is raise local issues, bring in a lot of local leaders and bring leaders about. We want to have multiple leaders in different states. Now, if you look at the Bharatiya Janata Party, it's only about Narendra Modi.
No, but one second, Shama, just hold on a second. When you talk about the absence of resources, etc., that's true of all opposition parties, right? But why is it that the others are able to hold the BJP or even defeat them? Look at the Aam Aadmi Party, they're almost at 20% in Gujarat with the same low resources, and they have by all accounts, according to these exits, swept the MCD polls in Delhi, right?
Okay,
the Congress is at 0. So saying that you're under resourced, is that a legitimate excuse?
I never said that that's an excuse. You asked me, there was a question, multiple things about the fund. I said, definitely we don't have the fund, but I'm not saying that's an excuse. Now you brought in the Aam Aadmi Party. What does the Aam Aadmi Party do? Basically, they are taking away a united opposition which could have fought against the Bharatiya Janata Party. Let's take the example of Goa. They came with a lot of hype. What happened?
But you didn't want to unite with the Aam Aadmi Party by any means in Gujarat.
Yeah, how can you blame them for that?
In fact, each of you accused the other of being the other side of the BJP.
Can I just finish my statement and then please
go ahead, Shama.
Can I just finish? What I'm trying to say is that they came with a big bang to Goa. What did they win? Hardly anything. They were supposed to be there in Uttarakhand. They hardly anything. What happened to Himachal? They said we are full in force. Congress party is nothing. They've shut shop because many of their party people have joined other parties. So what I see is just a similar type of thing what the Bharatiya Janata Party does. A lot of hype, but there's nothing going to be there. We are way ahead of the
but
Aadmi Party.
they may have got up to Shama. They may have got up to close to 20% vote share in Gujarat, which is a huge thing if that's true.
That is what you're saying. Let's the results come out. That's when we will know the truth. That's what I'm trying to tell you, Vishnu. There was a lot said about the Aadmi Party, about what you call this Goa, then Uttarakhand, Himachal. And one other question about the Aadmi Party, they say that, the schools are their best things. And I fail to understand, like every public school around the world, there should be bureaucrats' children going there, judges' children going there, various other people going to these government schools, isn't it? If they're
No,
so
it is
good
an interesting question. Why everything that they projected, whether it's pension schemes, whether it's schools, it evidently has not made a mark at all. I mean, that really needs to be looked at. We'll get an Aam Aadmi Party spokesperson in very, very soon. Vasu?
Yeah, but no, but hold on. Again, just to be clear, that I don't think it's possible to generalize to say it's not made a mark, right? Because if you have got up to 20% vote share, that is a remarkable debut in a state where you were next to zero. Number two, they have, according to the exit polls, swept the municipality in Delhi. So clearly there is something about what they're doing which appears to be working at least better than the Congress. But coming to the BJP, Ranveer Singh Pathania,
yes.
Just coming to that point that we were talking about earlier, that if you look at the vote share, your vote share, again, these are just exit poll numbers, has slipped, but you've gained in seats. So is it correct to say that this is a mandate for good governance for the Prime Minister's leadership? Or is this the fact that you've also benefited from a divided opposition?
Sir, my respectful submission remains that we have delivered on basic indicators of development. We have delivered again, and people have believed us again and again. This is the only.
The development numbers are extremely divided. I mean, there is no consistency in your. On the one hand, you may be very rich, but on the other hand, several other social indicators show that the BJP has not done well.
So, a fact which one should not easily overlook, that Congress has a traditional vote bank in Gujarat. Despite having a traditional vote bank, having a history of a flurry of leaders in Gujarat, Congress has not been able to make up the mark in Gujarat, except all hoaxes, all.
No, but Pathania Saab, the question was, what Vishnu was asking you was that in response to your contention that you have delivered on governance, the fact is that the Gujarat model is a somewhat schizophrenic model. The economic numbers, when you look at the rate of growth of Gujarat, or what is called the gross state domestic product, is very high. The rate of growth is the highest in the country according to the RBI. But if you look at everything else, you're number 17 in literacy, number 12th in infant mortality. The rural daily wage in Gujarat is rupees 240 compared to rupees 680 in Kerala. The national average is rupees 315. There are many such data points which point to the fact that in many critical areas, it's not Gujarat is not shining for everybody.
Sir,
for some, yes, but not for everyone.
Sir, the point remains that the Gujarat model has virtually transformed the things as on ground. I am not comparing in.
No, but these are government numbers, Ranbir, these are government numbers.
How is it transformed?
Some of these are RBI numbers, some of these. So, perhaps, does it therefore not boil down to the leadership of Narendra Modi? I mean, that's the question. He holds a sway among voters like no other leader in the country. It's not necessarily, the models of governance or social indicators which indicate, something has really been done which is good.
My point remains that we have delivered on each and every front in Gujarat.
No, but we've just shared these data points with you, Ranbir ji.
Sir, but let us, then I need to work out on what were the data points earlier to the Bharatiya Janata Party came to power, and once within almost 2 decades of Bharatiya Janata Party rule, how we delivered as per the indicator which were available when we came to power in Gujarat. That's a separate case. Now, this is the biggest case. We need to be delivered on literacy, we need to deliver on each and every indicator and development, and we have delivered also. So that needs to be compared.
Okay.
But the point remains that people of Gujarat have responded They have responded. They have we have been able to catch the pulse and catch the aspirations of the people of Gujarat.
Right.
And highly aspirational Gujarat has already grown beyond the proportion, and the agendaless, purposeless, directionless Congress has nothing to do. The way they are behaving in elections, and sorry to say, their spokesperson is also keeping the soup with all that. They are just picking the faults. They are burying their head into the sand approach. Nothing will happen, madam. You need to deliver on ground. You need to catch inspirations of an
nothing can happen?
Okay.
That's it.
Why
That's
has
it.
Mr. Modi
that's
done
it.
so many rallies when you're so sure of winning?
I'm not
Okay.
interrupted.
Why is
But then
Mr.
Rahul
Modi
Gandhi had the
doing
opportunity,
35
Shama, of also doing more rallies.
Okay. Lalita Kumaramangalam is
Burying
also
your head into
with
the
us.
sand.
Is that right? Lalita Kumaramangalam is with us.
Yeah, I'm still here. Yeah.
Okay, sorry, Lalita Kumaramangalam, we've not been able to come to you. Firstly, Lalita Kumaramangalam, let's just stepping back from the sort of the sort of studio skirmishes. If these numbers are correct, then it's a big congratulations to the BJP, because it is huge to pull off 4 successive wins in any state. And if you've managed to even just about make Himachal competitive, that's also pretty remarkable. But having said that, Lalita ji, I think this is a question that we keep returning to, that is there too much of a banking on the Modi factor to the point where governments can perform or not? The government record can be patchy, as the data we've just presented shows, but Mr. Modi comes in and in the voice of one of your own leaders saves you from defeat.
Vasu, there's no denying that even today, Modi ji is the tallest leader of the BJP, whether it is at the center or in the states, except perhaps in certain states in the south, where almost traditionally, for want of a better word, we have a lot of very strong local leadership. As you know the names of the parties in the various states. Karnataka, we are on more or less even feet, if not better than the Congress. But there the fight is normally between the Congress and the BJP. As you know, it keeps changing every 5 years. In the northern states, especially in Gujarat, Modi ji has always been their hero. He's the homegrown boy from Gujarat. I mean, not boy, but he's the homegrown leader from Gujarat. He is almost like, a part of that state. And the people of that state still consider him as theirs.
Okay.
Almost like a sense of ownership. So,
But what about governance? Lalita ji, my point is that this is like saying that you don't necessarily have to perform. Your report
but
card
Vasu,
can
it's
be
unfair
4
to
on
say
10,
that
5
the
on 10, but
BJP
Mr. Modi
hasn't
will
performed.
ensure. Sorry?
It's unfair to say that the BJP has not performed. As my colleague from Gujarat said, you need to take the figures of before and after the BJP came to power. The BJP was in power even before Modi ji became chief minister. Don't forget that either.
Yes.
We've had very tall leaders from the BJP. Many of them, everybody.
No, but
on
I'm
this
saying
show
if
knows
you're
their
in
names.
power for
it
for
doesn't,
30 years, hold on. If you're in power for 30 years, you're still at the bottom of the charts when it comes to social indicators like health and literacy and so on. That's not a great record. That's not a record that can get you 130
But look
seats.
at the GDP. In GDP levels, we are 4th in the country. Look at the average income. I'm told it's
Sure,
about
and
20
that's
lakhs.
what we're saying. It's a
least.
mixed. I'm saying it's a
Varies
mixed
from 90
bag.
to about 60. It's a mixed bag, yes.
Yes, so
But,
a mixed bag
the
doesn't
point
get
is-
you 130 seats. 130 seats
point
is a
is-
landslide when people think that you've done an
Yes.
amazing job.
No, but Vasu,
numbers
I think,
I
you're being unfair
the
to our
numbers
local
don't
Gujarati leaders
reflect that.
also.
Sorry?
Look, I think you're being unfair to our local Gujarati leaders also.
Okay,
Every
all right,
Gujarati
okay, well,
knows
look,
that Modi ji.
that's
Let me
one way of
Let me
looking
finish.
at
You ask
things.
me a question. It's unfair not to let me finish.
Okay, finish,
Give me
finish,
half a
finish.
minute, I'll finish it.
Yes, yes.
Look, they know very well. Every Gujarati who's voted for the BJP or against knows that Modi ji is no longer CM of Gujarat. He's PM now. But they trust the fact that the BJP will continue to give them good governance. It's as simple as that. And the fact that that Modi ji has reiterated it has perhaps added to the numbers, but I don't think we'd have lost if he had not had as many roadshows as he's had in Gujarat or campaigned as much as he did.
Get your point. I just wanted to focus on Deshratan Nigam has been waiting patiently. Deshratan Nigam, what is the big picture over here? On the one hand, Vasu makes that interesting point about how possibly the BJP's vote share may have gone down as much as 2%. Which needs to be looked at closely. But I would suggest that the big picture is something we need to look at as far as 2024 is concerned. Let's roll out a couple of graphic points to look at those. What is the big message? These exit polls project the BJP to beat their own record in Gujarat, 131 seats. Prime Minister Modi fought Modi entirely intact in Gujarat. It seems to have gotten considerably stronger in terms of seats. But where, Deshratan-ji, and this is my question, does this leave the BJP ahead of Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, Telangana and Karnataka next year, before 2024? Do you believe that this model, whatever it was, can necessarily win elections for the BJP in these states?
Well, Vishnu, in fact, I do not agree that there is a loss of 2% votes, because the margin of error in such kind of exit polls is 3 to 5%. That rider is always there. If you average it out, it is 4% margin of error. And I don't think that there is going to be any loss of votes for the BJP. Now, secondly, so far as these other states are concerned, one, they are Telangana, or for that matter, other states which are there, they will have probably anti-incumbency out there. And those are the states where BJP will go for a kill. And BJP has what you call machinery, is the human capital that they have at the grassroots level. I somehow do not like the word called machinery. That takes away the emotional and human content of the workers of the party. And therefore, the connect at the grassroots level, Panna Pramukh or the members of the locality, that they know them by name, that is what matters. And then they deliver also the emotional connect. So far as the Prime Minister's appeal to the voters is concerned, that's become universal, whether these are local elections, state elections or the national elections. And inadvertently, Lalitaji called him boy. I do agree that he is a boy, because the amount of immense energy that he has while campaigning, I don't think any leader has been able to match.
No, but secondly, just a second. Sorry. Short answers, because we have to keep it dynamic. When you said that there's a possibility of a margin of error, the BJP's vote share may have not gone down. Of course, you're right. There's a possibility of a margin of error even in the overall numbers, right? So these are exit polls. These aren't actual results. But at the same time, even if one assumes that the BJP's vote share is constant, it hasn't gone down. It's actually still at 49%. One still has to explain why your seats have gone up by close to 30, if one goes by the exit projections. That's the point.
Yes.
That if that is the case, then hold on. Then it indicates that this massive victory, right, which is your best ever performance ever, may not only be because of the fact that the government has done a phenomenal job. It may also be because the opposition vote has got divided, right?
Yeah, let me answer that. You know, you are perfectly all right when you say there are parts where there could be a triangular contest, and there could be certain amount of votes from the Congress which can be taken away by the Aam Aadmi Party. And that is where those are the regions. But then you have to do micro analysis after the results. What are those seats? Or they are the seats in Surat, or say some part of northern Gujarat, the Kutch area. So that micro analysis will be available after the results are out. And at this stage, you can say, if we go by these exit polls, which is a presumption with the margin of error as well, that the triangular contest in few seats will certainly benefit the BJP. There is no doubt about it.
All right. Okay.
Nalini Singh, I just want to talk about the Aam Aadmi Party a little bit. I don't think we're talking about them because, frankly, there's not much to talk about. But until this afternoon, they were certainly seen to be favourites to be a strong number two. Their model of governance, which many felt would extend across the country, clearly doesn't. It's extended to Punjab. It's not extended to Himachal Pradesh, where it seemed that after a start, they just sort of gave up on that campaign. And over here, despite all of their efforts and very active campaigning, it's not had any effect. So they remain essentially a Delhi party, and of course it's extended to Punjab as well. But that model doesn't necessarily work elsewhere.
Do you know, Vishnu, you're right, but I'm actually going to step back. And by the way, on Himachal Pradesh, as I mentioned earlier, Aam Aadmi Party faded because one of the reasons is because their Himachal Pradesh election in charge is in Tihar jail, Satyendra Jain. So I would just say, but stepping back, you're giving these statistics, you're giving these indications which are really very plausible, but I would just go back and read other tea leaves. And one of them is, if we look at the energy that the BJP seems to have expended on the Aam Aadmi Party behind the curtains.
That's true.
The agencies have gone for the Aam Aadmi Party. Maybe they are through with the Congress Party, going after the Congress Party. And by the agencies, you know what I mean. these people, Manish Sisodia and all these people have been come. So I would
That's
say
had an impact, you believe?
I'm just saying it shows what the BJP is thinking of the Aam Aadmi Party, if it is restraining them. I think that paradoxically from this election, what is visible is that the momentum is with the BJP as well as with Aam Aadmi Party. If the vote share is, as Vasu was saying, 18%.
Yeah.
Now, if the momentum is with something which was a startup until a few years ago and is now really a player, it's only then that the BJP will turn its attention, and it will turn its attention in a way where it doesn't earn these dark points of getting the agencies after, but you can see what's happening. So I would say that I'm looking at this, and you are right that it was Aam Aadmi Party was supposed to make a splash. The exit polls are showing that in numbers of seats they are not. But in terms of vote share, if they are, I would commend that we look at that pretty seriously.
Yeah.
And at the same time,
Okay.
going back to just one second, on the Congress party, it is amazing that somebody as senior, respected, intelligent as Abhishek Manu Singhvi is not talking about accountability. Who do you point to and say, look?
They don't know themselves who to point to. That's been a
So
problem
why are
for
they
a
so
while. Right?
they're as afraid
So
then
that's the
as
But
Congress
Vasu, I had a
story.
question to ask you.
Every election, every election program, you ask them and then say that, it's a collective responsibility.
we must think about it.
Yeah.
Just quick question to you, since you were on the election campaign and you were seeing all of this. Did Modi in his speeches refer to the Aam Aadmi Party a lot? Was there did the BJP expend energy in their election speeches on the Aam Aadmi Party, or did they blank them out?
No, so when you say the BJP as a whole, the Prime Minister was fairly careful to not actually name any political party. He doesn't now name the opposition specifically, but he refers to them in terms of what kind of divisive agendas they have, how they've let the country down through either corruption, nepotism and so on. The Aam Aadmi Party, again, he refers to obliquely by saying there are parties that will come and make big promises, will promise you free goods, be wary of them, etc., etc. But I think, Vishnu, the wider point is that the Aam Aadmi Party did end up setting the narrative in part for the Gujarat election. They may not have been able to punch above their weight in the actual numbers when you look at the seats, but in terms of the BJP having to finally even put in its manifesto virtually a photocopy of the Aam Aadmi Party: free education to girls, free bus for women seniors, free two-wheelers, electric scooters, etc., etc. So talk about the Aam Aadmi Party, attack them for reverie culture, but end up promising
The same.
pretty much the
It
same
is
thing.
showing 2024 who they think is going to
Yes,
emerge
they're
as a
clearly
challenger.
citing who an emerging threat is. But Geeta, I think the point that Nalini Singh was making, that again, with all credit due for the victory, when you actually use these methods, agencies, to kneecap the opposition, right? You take Satyendra Jain out of the equation, he's in jail, then every day a new video of his is released. Manish Sisodia is conveniently charged with this liquor scam just when the Gujarat election is building up momentum. He and Arvind Kejriwal are the two faces of the Aam Aadmi Party there, selling the education pitch. He's taken out of the equation. Is that healthy for democracy, to fight elections in that way?
I disagree with Nalini ji on one point. I take it like this, that if Aam Aadmi Party has been like their model in terms of that they have not been able to, as per the exit polls in Gujarat and in Himachal Pradesh, it is because now, in 2015-16, it was a party which did not have any baggage with it.
No, we're
But
talking
today-
of misuse of agencies. I'm on the misuse,
coming
on
to
the
that.
allegation of misuse of agencies.
Allegation of misuse of agencies, I'll come to that also. I perceive it that now Aam Aadmi Party has a baggage with itself, because now it has political leadership which have been charged with some serious bungling of funds and saying that the agencies are
find the
after
timing
them
curious?
in terms of fine. The point here is that if Mr. Satyendra Jain has not been able to get bail, they have approached the courts. Why is it that he has not been able to get the bail? I mean, we do believe that our judiciary is independent, and they would have definitely looked into the various aspects. If he has not been able to get bail, or whether if his videos are out, having masseurs around him inside the jail, this is definitely sending a message to the public. And also in terms of their model, I am coming to that.
I'm saying when you talk, hold on. I don't think anyone's case could be that Indian politicians are doodh mein dhula hua, right? Or that these people are necessarily not guilty. I'm saying it is the selective use of agencies where only the opposition is targeted. No BJP leader, BJP run state government, BJP MLA, minister is targeted, to the extent where the BJP MLAs, leaders who join the BJP say, now we are safe, we are protected from any agency harassment. That's the problem. If you're going after everybody, regardless of political party affiliation, that's okay.
No,
but if you
see,
only go after one side, then it is caged parrot.
No, you see, but then there are independent agencies which can come up and approach the
but
courts
I think
if
the
they,
question
if
is
they,
on
if
their
they feel that
independence.
there is,
If they're targeting only one sort of class of people, which is the opposition in this case.
The point is that,
and that too just before elections.
You also have to look at the Aam Aadmi Party model in terms of their projection, the perception in the public, because of which, if as it is being projected that they are going to win the elections. But if you actually look into their model in terms of, for example, just give me 10 seconds.
Give me one example of an agency. Just one second. I'm saying, I'm sure.
1,000 schools, 800 schools do not have a principal in it.
We're on a different point. Can you name one BJP leader, chief minister, minister, cabinet minister, MLA who has been targeted or who has been probed by the agencies in the past 7 years?
No, but why isn't that? Why aren't you taking it this way? That
could you name? No, I'm asking you. Is it possible to name even one?
But that does not mean that. Does that mean? Are you trying to say that they are into seeped into corruption and they are not being?
I'm asking.
They are not being questioned by the agencies. I mean, why are we trying to see if there is some kind of an evidence against any political leadership, who is holding, is in governance anywhere.
But Geeta ji, you just mentioned that video of Satyendra Jain in jail.
Into it.
It's that release of video from inside a jail which also raises lots of question marks. We can condemn the video and that massage and all that was happening over there and the people who were doing that. But the fact is, it just before elections, it sends a certain signal. And, a political party loses a certain amount of capital. It was done with that purpose, it appears.
You see, the important point here is to note that the Aam Aadmi Party, their political leadership, they have been trying to project themselves time and again, whether it is the chief minister or whether the deputy chief minister, all of them, that they have come into, into the political foray, where they are going to deliver a very, their governance is going to be very clean, which is going to be corruption free, and that is what they have been trying to project everywhere.
Again, when you talk about, but Geeta ji, when you talk about allegations, there is no shortage of allegations of corruption in BJP-run states. Every state has an allegation of corruption. The agencies don't probe it. In Karnataka, the Contractors Association wrote to the Prime Minister and said 40% commission is charged by the state government. Was it probed by the agency?
The probe is already on.
There is no probe.
There have been resignation by the ministers.
There is no central agency. There is no central agency probing Karnataka government.
Why is it so?
There is no central agency probing the Karnataka government or those allegations of corruption raised by the Contractors Association, not a political party, to the Prime Minister. There is no probe. So I mean, just to be clear.
Can I just raise one quickly in a 15
I think we have to take a break, but yeah. Okay. We'll take a short break.
One point, Vasu, I want to rebut to Nalini.
Okay, we'll come back to you.
Shama, we'll come back. We'll take a short break. Come back with the very latest.
Take a short break.
Welcome back. Well, perhaps the highlight of the exit poll results, the poll of polls, if you like, in Gujarat has been, if not the performance of the BJP, which is seems headed to a huge victory, the largest ever in the state, it's been the non-performance, at least in seat terms, not vote percentage terms, in seat terms of the Aam Aadmi Party. Ultimately, seats are what matters a great deal when it comes to actually winning elections. What does the Aam Aadmi Party feel? My colleague Priyanshi spoke to Raghav of the Aam Aadmi Party.
The exit polls show a lead for the Aam Aadmi Party in the Delhi MCD, but lagging behind in Gujarat and Himachal. To get a reaction on these numbers, we have Aam Aadmi Party MP Raghav Chadda with us. Let's first start with the good news, at least as far as the Aam Aadmi Party is concerned, a lead in the MCD. But the poll of exit polls estimates 107, while the Aam Aadmi Party is confident of 220. So do you think that's quite a disappointment?
Look, exit polls by and large have an inherent tendency or perhaps an inability to gauge the voter of the Aam Aadmi Party. And every exit poll since the year 2013, when the Aam Aadmi Party fought its first election, to now, 2022, every election that the Aam Aadmi Party has fought, every exit poll subsequent to the election day and prior to the result day has underestimated the Aam Aadmi Party's performance and Aam Aadmi Party's vote share. How much that translates into seat share is a different thing, but the pure basic assessment of vote share has been constantly been underestimated. So this has perhaps been an inherent tendency within all these exit polls. Now, it could be because of several reasons. One of the reasons that do come to my mind is perhaps the Aam Aadmi Party's voter is a moderate and a silent voter by its very nature, and perhaps the BJP's cadre or BJP's voter is a slightly more visible and loud voter that the surveys are able to pick up while they are conducting the exit poll. So therefore, in MCD, I think though every exit poll is suggesting that Aam Aadmi Party is forming the government, Aam Aadmi Party is winning hands down, and BJP has again been made to taste defeat in Delhi, I feel Aam Aadmi Party's ultimate tally, the real tally, is going to be significantly higher. We'll breach the 200 mark, and we will certainly outperform these numbers that exit polls have shown. On the question of Gujarat, as somebody who was the co-in charge for the Aam Aadmi Party in the state, let me tell you, we are going to do significantly better than what these numbers are being shown to all of us today. For a party that is contesting the elections for the first time in the state with all its might, a new entrant in the state, it will always, forever be underestimated. In fact, I remember when we first fought the Delhi election in the year 2013, all surveys gave us 4 to 5 seats out of 70 in Delhi, because we were a new force. People could not gauge who our voters are, will they actually vote, do they feel we are winning, do they feel we are a viable option, etc. All these factors combined, we were underestimated. We ended up getting 28 seats out of 70, though we were given only 4 to 5, and some surveys give us 1 seat out of 70. So it brings me to my conclusion that our Gujarat vote share has also been underestimated and underplayed by these surveys, not for any motives, so to speak, but that's how the perhaps the science of surveys is. But my sense is Aam Aadmi Party is going to get a significant vote share and form the government in Gujarat.
So you said that in MCD you're estimating that it will be over 200. In Gujarat, exit polls say that you'll get around 10 to 15 seats. What is your estimate?
Look, they are saying that we are getting almost 20% vote share. I think that's the last survey that I saw.
All right, Raghav Chadda there of the Aam Aadmi Party. Let's also go across to another senior Aam Aadmi Party leader, Sanjay Singh of the AAP is with us. Sanjay Singh साहब, बहुत-बहुत धन्यवाद आप हमारे साथ जुड़े. ये बताइए कि सबसे पहले गुजरात की बात करते हैं.
नमस्कार आपके दर्शकों को नमस्कार.
नमस्कार. क्योंकि दिल्ली से भी बड़ी खबर आई है, लेकिन गुजरात की अगर बात की जाए तो क्या कहीं ना कहीं आप मानते हैं कि जितना एक तरह से हाइप था और जितना आप लोगों ने एक तरह से इम्पैक्ट क्रिएट करने की बात की थी, अगर ये आंकड़े सही हैं तो कहीं ना कहीं आप कम पड़ गए?
नहीं, मैं ऐसा बिल्कुल नहीं मानता, और इसलिए नहीं मानता कि पूरे चुनाव में आम आदमी पार्टी डटकर चुनाव लड़ी. जितने भी गुजरात के जनता के मुद्दे थे उसको मजबूती से हमने उठाया, मजबूत संगठन का निर्माण किया, और जो एक भरोसे की चीज थी, यानी कि जनता के बीच में जिन मुद्दों को लेकर विश्वास था कि आम आदमी पार्टी जो कहती है उसको करती है, वो था हमारा गारंटी कार्ड 300 यूनिट बिजली फ्री का. 50 लाख परिवारों ने वो गारंटी कार्ड भरा है. 50 लाख परिवारों ने उस गारंटी कार्ड पे भरोसा जताया है. आपको ग्रामीण इलाकों में, सुदूर इलाकों में जहां पे लोग पहुंच नहीं पाते, वहां भी आप अगर जाते तो लोग वो गारंटी कार्ड दिखाते और कहते कि हमारा गांव झाड़ू को.
पर संजय जी, आप शायद ये नंबर, ये आंकड़े शायद आप मानते नहीं है, पर ये एग्जिट पोल्स के ये फाइनल रिजल्ट नहीं है, पर ये मार्जिन जो है, ये मार्जिन काफी बड़ा है. तो इस मार्जिन के बारे में आप क्या कहेंगे? आप शायद इमीडिएट नंबर नहीं मानते, पर मार्जिन बहुत बड़ा है.
देखिए, हमारे साथ ये अक्सर हुआ है। 2013 में हमें 6 सीटें दी जा रही थी। 2013 में तो पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज कह रही थी अगर एक नेता इस दुनिया में नहीं है, मैं उनका नाम नहीं लूंगा, पूरे सम्मान के साथ कहना चाहता हूं, उन्होंने तो कहा था 6% वोट शेयर आ गया तो मैं राजनीति से संन्यास ले लूंगा। तो हमारे बारे में तो कभी भी कोई प्रेडिक्शन, खासतौर से ओपिनियन पोल और एग्जिट पोल का सही रहा नहीं है। 2013 में, 15 में, 20 में और उसके बाद पंजाब के अंदर।
अच्छा, आप चलिए वो एग्जिट्स को ना भी माने, मतलब हम इनको नहीं कह रहे कि ये सही है, बल्कि हमने तो एग्जिट किया भी नहीं है, लेकिन क्या कहीं ना कहीं आप मानेंगे कि जो जिस तरह से आपके नेताओं के अगेंस्ट कार्रवाई हुई, सत्येंद्र जैन साहब जेल में हैं, मनीष सिसोदिया के खिलाफ केसेस हैं, क्या उससे भी आपको कहीं ना कहीं डैमेज हुआ है?
देखिए, मैं आपको एक बात याद दिला दूं कि जब जब हमारे खिलाफ इस तरह की कार्रवाई हुई है, आम आदमी पार्टी का जनाधार बढ़ा है। आप याद कीजिए 2015 में अरविंद केजरीवाल के दफ्तर पे सीबीआई का छापा पड़ा था, फिर मनीष सिसोदिया के घर पे एक बार पहले भी सीबीआई का छापा पड़ा। 39 विधायकों पे हमारे फर्जी एफआईआर दर्ज की गई, बाद में बहुत सारे मामलों में वो कोर्ट से बरी हुए। एक सत्येंद्र जैन पे पहले भी सीबीआई का मामला दर्ज हुआ था जो 3 साल के बाद बंद हो गया। 400 हमारी फाइलों की सुंगलू कमेटी से जांच कराई इन्होंने। तो कौन सा उत्पीड़न का ऐसा तरीका छोड़ा है बीजेपी ने जो हमारे खिलाफ इस्तेमाल ना किया हो? ईडी, सीबीआई, दिल्ली पुलिस, कोई चीज तो छोड़ा नहीं।
नहीं, वो तो नहीं छोड़ा, लेकिन आपको
समझते हैं कि दरअसल
इसका इंपैक्ट क्या रहा है? आपको सवाल ये है,
आपको कहीं ना कहीं इसका आपके इलेक्शन, आपके कैंपेन पे, आपके छवि पे कहीं ना कहीं आप नहीं मानते कि डैमेज हुआ है? कि जो आप कहती हैं हम क्लीन हैं, करप्शन फ्री हैं, आप ये तब भी कह सकते हैं कि ये बेबुनियाद चार्जेस हैं, ये पॉलिटिकल चार्जेस हैं, बट पब्लिक में, पब्लिक के हिसाब से क्योंकि जब वो देखते हैं आपके नेतागण जेल में हैं या उनके खिलाफ केसेस हैं, उससे कोई नुकसान नहीं है आपको?
नहीं, उसमें हालत बीजेपी की दरअसल भेड़िया आया वाली हो गई। जैसे भेड़िया आया कहते रहे, और मतलब कभी भी किसी मामले में कोई सच्चाई तो अब तक सामने आई नहीं। आपने मनीष सिसोदिया पे बड़े बड़े आरोप लगा दिए, बैठ के चैनलों पे हजारों करोड़ की लूट, ये वो भ्रष्टाचार, बाद में चार्जशीट में ही उनका नाम नहीं है। तो ये क्या साबित करता है? ये इसी बात को साबित करता है कि सिर्फ एक पॉलिटिकल एक बदनाम करने के लिए राजनीतिक रूप से इस तरह की कार्रवाई करती है बीजेपी। और ये सिर्फ हमारे ऊपर नहीं, नवीन पटनायक जो इनके समर्थक दल माने जाते हैं पार्लियामेंट के अंदर, उनके नेताओं पे कार्रवाई करवा रहे हैं।
संजय जी, अंत में
एमसीडी
चुनाव के बारे में एक
अपोजिशन की एक पार्टी का नाम ले लीजिए जिनको इन्होंने छोड़ा।
संजय जी, एमसीडी इलेक्शंस के बारे में बात करते हैं। योर परफॉर्मेंस हैज बीन फैंटास्टिक। आप कभी मानते थे कि 150 के नंबर आप पार करेंगे या उसके पास आएंगे?
देखिए, मैं तो अभी भी आपसे कह रहा हूं कि 2015 के रिजल्ट रिपीट होंगे एमसीडी के जब चुनाव परिणाम आएंगे। ये नंबर में आप अभी इसको नहीं निकाल सकते हैं। ये इसी तरह का चुनाव परिणाम आएगा जैसा 2015 में 3 सीट बीजेपी की आई थी, 67 आम आदमी पार्टी की आई थी।
आप नहीं, ऐसा नहीं है कि आप एमसीडी का, जहां तक एमसीडी के वो हैं, वो आप तब एग्जिट पोल को बिलीव कर लेंगे और बाकी जब गुजरात का आप उसको बिलीव नहीं करेंगे, ऐसा तो
मैं तो अभी भी कह रहा हूं।
अच्छा,
नहीं, बिल्कुल मैं अभी भी कह रहा हूं आपसे कि एग्जिट पोल जो अभी भी एमसीडी को लेके भी जो दिखा रहा है,
अच्छा, वो भी आप कह रहे हैं अंडर एस्टिमेशन
नंबर आएंगे तो ज्यादा नंबर आएंगे।
अच्छा, ठीक,
अंडर एस्टिमेशन,
अभी भी मैं कह रहा हूं
ओवर एस्टिमेशन
नंबर आएंगे
इन गुजरात
में।
जी।
All right, well, Sanjay ji, congratulations most likely on Delhi, but perhaps your performance in Gujarat and certainly Himachal Pradesh leaves a lot to be desired. I'd like to thank all of our panelists very much for joining us. 8th is the big day. That's when we know if these exit polls are right or wrong, but we'll soon know the governments in Himachal Pradesh and indeed in Gujarat.
Thank you so much for watching. Good night.